Fifth, Senator Gelber, you're recognized in debate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, there have been a lot of questions about, why are we doing, why would we go with a statutory fix because the Constitution is so clear. It's not a goal, it's a hard cap. We don't have the flexibility, just read it. That's come from a lot of folks who want this amendment. Well, fortunately, we actually have the people who decide what the Constitution means. They've already opined on whether it's a goal and whether there's flexibility. When this was argued before the Supreme Court issued an opinion because there was a question as to whether it violated the single subject rule. And the folks said, well, it can't be both a hard cap and a funding requirement. So the Supreme Court responded and said, this is what it is. And they have a much more important opinion than anyone in this district because they're the ones who will decide whether a statutory response is appropriate. And here's what the Supreme Court said in 2002. Rather than restricting the legislature, the proposed amendment gives the legislature latitude in designing ways to reach the class size goal articulated in the ballot initiative and places the obligation to ensure compliance on the legislature, not the local school boards. The Supreme Court has said it is a goal. That is not from a brief of one of the litigants. That is from an opinion of the Supreme Court, and that we have the flexibility. What's going on right now is a manufactured problem. The 19th kid can be handled. It can be handled by statute. It can be handled a lot of different ways. But what you will be doing in this amendment is changing dramatically the class sizes of Florida. In 2002, if my child, who's in kindergarten now, had been in a Florida classroom, there would have been 23 kids in that class. Today, there are 16. If this amendment goes on the ballot and passes, there will be possibly 21. So while superintendents and principals may not like the position we've put them in by not adequately drafting legislation, if you're a parent, you want your kids in a 16-kid kindergarten class, not a 21-kid kindergarten class. Same thing for grades 4 through 8. When it started, there were 24 students. Now there are 19. We've reduced classes. If the amendment passes, you may have 27. The point is, if you're a parent in this state, you want your kids in a small class. In fact, if you go to any private school advertisement, all they say is, we have small classes. Why don't we give our public school kids that same option, which is what we should be doing? There is a other route to solve this 19th kid issue. I think it's easily solved. I don't think it justifies going to the voters again.